that they were sort of pilot things that could be done in any community, and it wouldn't really matter whether it was a traditional food gathering or the Waka Ama. It could be playing basketball, or it could be playing rugby, or it could be any organised activity, basically. So long as there were some people there who they trusted and offered them support, and there was someone there. There always needs to be someone there who was the boss. Just so, when the situation arose where things were getting totally out of control, someone could say, "Oi, you lot, keep to the point here," And being, just being older males, that role sort of fell on Joe and I. I have to say Joe was the best I've ever seen at it. He could actually gain cooperation and, if you like, discipline, although it wasn't really discipline, not the way he did it. He could get a young fella to see the other side of the story, the reason for it. Why you don't do that with that. You don't do that because A, it's rude, or B, it's something or other. But he never put it like that. He always put it in a way that the kid understood really well. And I mean, this is a man with no qualifications. Just a lot of experience. Just the right heart.
Well, he's done School of Hard Knocks, so he's been where they've been, where they are, I guess.
And a little bit too for me, the same thing. Mostly my hard knocks have been self-induced one way or another. But, I've been through marriages, and I've been through family discords, and I've been through jobs, I've been through unemployment. That kind of stuff gives you a different perspective on things. It may not be, it depends how you deal with it, really. And it may not be the degree from an educational point of view, but from a lifetime's point of view, it gives you that perspective where you understand that people's problems aren't always caused by their own failings. That sometimes the problems, in fact the majority of time, the problems were created by the society or the organisations they had to deal with, particularly as the organisations withdrew services. For example, a young person in Hokitika now can't access social welfare because they're in Greymouth. And everyone says, it's just up the road. But if you've got to pay the $100 for a taxi to attend a 10 a.m. meeting in Greymouth, you don't go because there isn't that money available. And as they've centralised the services more and more to save money, what they're doing is putting the pressure on the actual people they're supposed to be servicing. I've lost lots of young people's confidence because the very fact that we can no longer simply call round and say g'day and it's time to check your blood pressure, totally unnecessary. Let me do your blood sugar levels. It wasn't the actual activity again, it was just the contact. And because I don't do that anymore, those people have tended to drift away and as is probably right, have set up their own systems, good or bad as they may be.
I'm not worried about those ones that have set up their systems. I think one of the things that you did that was, of real benefit to everybody was you built up good relationships, and I saw especially with young men where they were confused about something, where they would come to you and it would turn out to be some horrendous health issue that ended up needed diagnosis and treatment, which would otherwise they would not have sought assistance for.
That's right.
And those are the ones that frighten me that we're not getting.
Well, there's actually that's probably true of most males.
Yes.
Having said, they'll tend to ignore things until they can't ignore it any longer. Guilty myself, but.
Yes, I seem to recall being in an ED department with you for being guilty yourself a couple of times.
Yeah, well, but a lot of the time with young people, and young males in particular, they have any sort of problem that they've got. They don't really know, they don't have anyone to talk to discuss it, who they feel A, safe with, and B, confident enough in to be able to give them the truth, or be able to give them a version of the truth anyway. Every now and again I'd be doing a just a little normal routine health check, and one of the mums would say, oh, young Johnny, he's not been himself lately, or whatever. And could you have a talk to him? Yeah, sure, no problem. Where is he? Oh, he's at work at the moment. Righto. Well, that's at the moment where you have to decide whether you're going to fulfil your contract and work your 6 hours a day, or whether you're going to be prepared to come and catch young Johnny after work and talk to him. I've got to say, because of the restriction placed on the number of hours access, or not just the restriction, but the difficulty it was to get that restriction lifted. Instead of spending 3 hours in the morning doing something and 3 hours sometime in the evening, it became, you work from 8:30 to 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and then you stopped. Well, that just doesn't happen in community services, and can't happen in community services or without losing the trust and confidence that you've built up with your clients. Quite a few times, people in the situation I was just describing, I've ended up, like, we'll go down to the pub, or we'll go down to a cafe.
I remember you guys going to find some young guy that he'd skipped some post-surgical stuff. I think it was a teenager, and he'd skipped post-surgical stuff because he needed a bit of his old wacky-backy. And I seem to remember you guys having to go hiking up the bloomin' Arahuda River to one of the whitebait sheds where he was hiding out to find him and bring him back to hospital.
well, he really only... He really only needed to be seen.
Yeah,
he didn't even, he really didn't need to go back at all. He just needed to be seen and made sure that the symptoms that he was being treated for had alleviated.
Symptoms which had been brought on by a rather interesting interaction with AOD.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, he had a drug and alcohol problem. And the drug and alcohol problem had... that's, if I can digress a wee bit, that's a bit of a problem too. Is what we tend to do is we say we compartmentalise people, and we'll say, oh, he's got a drug and alcohol problem, but we forget he might have a physical problem like his livers and kidneys, or he may be pre-diabetic, or he may be there might be a lot of other things that could be causing the situation that makes him seek alcohol and drugs rather than just, I want to get shit-faced. I just want to escape the world, why? Okay, what's the reason? Oh, I can't move because every time I pee it burns, Oh, well, okay, you've got a urinary tract infection.
Or in his case, broken bones.
And because we tend to compartmentalise people, we often miss out on what's obvious. The big organisations like hospitals and stuff like that do that all the time. They've specialised their people to a point where they might only look at the broken leg, not the big ulcer that's forming because until it becomes a problem. It seems a shame to me that having set the system up whereby we were inviting the community to trust us to offer them advice, to help them where we could, and try and steer the kids in the right direction, has almost failed because of the requirements of, as you say, the bureaucracy
The government
involved.
contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah.